Hey, everyone! Ever wondered how electricity is actually produced in those school experiments with copper and zinc? What do ions have to do with electricity? And if copper conducts electricity using free electrons, doesn't that make it unstable? And most importantly, how does the movement of electrons create energy? Let's break it all down, clearly, simply, and powerfully. What's happening in that beaker? So here's the scene. We got a zinc rod in zinc sulfate and a copper rod in copper sulfate. Both are connected by a wire. Zinc atoms are like, alright, I'm done being metal. I'm turning into Zn superscript 2 and leaving behind 2 electrons. This is the reaction, Zn superscript 2 plus 2e. Now those 2 free electrons don't just chill, they start traveling through the copper wire. White heavy checkmark. This movement of electrons through the wire is exactly what we call electricity. How does electron flow equals electricity? The real reason. Okay, wait. How is that electricity though? Why does a bunch of electrons moving actually produce energy? Here's the truth. When electrons flow through a conductor like copper, they bump and push other electrons ahead, kind of like a line of people pushing each other forward. This movement causes them to interact with the metal atoms, and that push and pull generates heat and energy. The energy comes from their motion. We call that electrical energy or current. So, electricity is literally a flow of electrons that can do work, like lighting a bulb, spinning a fan, or charging your phone. And the initial energy to start this flow? That came from the chemical reaction at the zinc electrode. Copper doesn't use its own electrons. Now here's a question I had. If copper already has free electrons, why doesn't it just give them to the copper sulfate solution? Answer: because copper metal is stable. It has free-moving electrons, but it doesn't want to give them away. Instead, it acts like a conductor or bridge that lets new electrons travel through it. So when the electrons from zinc enter the copper wire, they don't get used by the wire. They just pass through it, pushing the electrons already there, creating a smooth, fast current. Where do the electrons go? The electrons travel through the wire and finally reach the copper electrode, which is dipped in CuSO4 solution. There, Cu superscript 2 ions are like, hey, I'm short 2 electrons, help me out. So the electrons enter the solution and react with the Cu superscript 2 ions. Cu superscript 2 plus 2eCu, solid, boom. Solid copper sticks to the electrode. This pull of electrons by Cu superscript 2 is what keeps the current flowing. It's like the final destination for the electrons. That's how the circuit completes, and that's why the electricity keeps flowing. And that whole cycle? That's how electricity is produced, thanks to a chemical reaction and electron flow. Oh, and remember, all electrons are the same, but where they go, why they move, and who wants them is what gives us usable energy.